curiosity, interest, and obsession. Mile markers on my road to damnation.
Hello everyone, Science Viking here, and it is time to return to Darkest Dungeon. And, seeing as we get plus 100% shards collected this week, let's go ahead and collect some shards. Let's see, let's bring a Crusader and a Leper in positions 1 and 2, and now I just need a decent main healer. I'll let Frostart be the healer this time. The greater good. Okay, let's equip everyone. So, as usual, we unequip and sort. So, Ancestor Scroll into Worry Stone. If I can find my Worry Stones. Let's see, the dissection kit. So I just want to see something. Okay, that's the antiquarian unique one. I kind of want to do another mission in the courtyard to see if I can get... I kind of want to do another mission in the courtyard to see if I can get the other Plague Doctor unique trinket. Leper. Yep, I'll give him his Crimson Court gear. The plus 15 accuracy is rather helpful. And the same thing for the Crusader, he just gets his Crimson Court gear. Okay, let's go collect us some shards. Getting a decent amount of food. I'm not sure if shovels do anything, so I'll bring some anyway. Bring plenty of anti-venom and bandages. I don't believe I need to worry about other curio interactions, though, so the rest of my inventory is going to stay empty. Anyway, to the harvest!
The poor miller. Thrice a victim. The seasons took his livelihood. I took his land. And now, uncountable years later, the comet has taken his humanity. My only regret is that I did not live to see that shoddy mill smashed to pieces by the miraculous bounty I reaped from beyond the void.
So what did the miller do to piss the ancestor off so much? Like, he sounds oddly vindictive here. Alright. So let's do a cornerstone. And onward! Okay, a fairly basic group of enemies. Okay, the horse is in stealth, so we're just gonna have to kill the other enemies then. Alright, smite this one. Can I one-shot this one with Hugh? Most likely. Or I could miss both of them. That could also happen. Well, let's finish this guy off with incision so that he's at least gone.
Give them no quarter.
And I don't have illumination, so we have to go with dazzling light. And we have the seeds of madness. And trample first. Okay, that isn't good. Well, there's not a lot the leper can do other than use chop on the horse. Plague Doctor can't reach the crystalline aberration, so I may as well just use incision on the horse. And Judgment could get rid of... And Judgment gets rid of the aberration. Okay, that's one problem solved. And now we just need to start getting back into formation. Fools to press on? That's a question I never ask, because the answer is always yes. Plague Doctor back one. And can Hugh kill the horse? No, it can't, so I'm using shot. Whoa.
Victory. Perhaps the turning
I wasn't expecting
point.
that big of a critical. Heal the Plague Doctor. And now the enemy is coming along to unheal the Plague Doctor. Move the Crusader forward, and now we're in something that at least resembles a formation.
Masterfully executed.
And Noxious Blast on the other
Devastating blow.
Lighted for 7. And only has 8 hit points left. Alright, Zealous Accusation against
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them.
and Purge to get rid of the other while also removing the corpse. Though it would be nice if I actually could remember to use the bandages. Okay, we've already got 4 kills. And now we have to deal with a 4th. Oh, the Plague Doctor can get started on dealing with the foreman. But it'll still take her a while to get rid of her. Get some big healing on you. Get some bandages on you. And time for job. It is weird to see just how much HP the leper has. The things that would, like, you see huge damage or healing numbers, and they only move his health bar by the tiniest
Maintain
bit.
the offensive.
Like this. And another plague grenade. And I'm actually going to remember to cure the damage over time this time, and chop to get rid of this
Another one
aberration.
falls.
Okay, and the riposte effect is gone. What is missing hands? Oh, it is an entirely meaningless buff because he's going to die of blight next turn. Okay, let's smite the farmhand. And now we have another, what's he called? Another foreman. Well, I'll just keep plague grenading the foreman then. The nearer foreman is already almost done. But he still gets to have at least one action with many hands in effect. Ow.
Exposed to a killing
Fortunately, fortunately though, my front line is quite tanky with the leper
Great is the
and
weapon that
the
cuts on its own.
Crusader. Just gonna go for healing everyone.
Momentary abatement.
Also, the stress levels are actually relatively low. This team is, like, psychologically holding up quite well. Grab a bandage, and I know you can riposte, but... Oh, if the enemy doesn't survive your attack, they don't get to riposte. Alright, Purge to get rid of the corpse so it can't become a seed of a crystalline aberration. And Noxious Blast on the foreman who isn't about to die. That accuracy debuff could actually be really helpful. Let's combine that with Dazzling Light. Well, failed Dazzling Light in hopes of a stun. But no such luck. He does actually get to attack us, probably for the last time.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
I can't one-shot him with Smite, so I'm going to go for Stunning Blow. To increase the probability that he doesn't get to do anything. Bandage, and I'm actually going to go for Solemnity. Critical Solemnity. I'm glad I went for Solemnity. Wait, you can use Stir the Rabble while stunned? That's just cheating. Okay, I want to get rid of the Sleeper's Herald. So, start with Noxious Blast. Okay, it resisted the blight. And now it uses reality. Okay, Reality Bend. Actually, this may not be the thing that has the ability to teleport me to the next location. Either way, I want it gone. And it's gone. Okay, that leaves just the farmhands. They're not too bad. They're somewhat bad, but they're not too bad. Stick with healing for now for
war
Rossar.
can be healed, but never hidden.
And Failed smite, because of course it failed.
Slowly.
But, alright, that's...
Gently.
Alright,
This is how a life is taken.
I was going to say that's good, we're down to just dealing with the farmhands, but in reality, there's probably going to be reinforcements very soon. Gotta stick with divine health and keep
The
everybody's
wounds
health
of
up.
war can be healed, but never hidden.
You know, I know the wounds of war can be healed, but can they be hidden? I've never been sure about that. Go ahead and pop yourself an anti-venom pop-up. And Zealous Accusation can kill the frontmost farmhand, but it fails to. Oh, this is the Sleeper's Dream is the one that's...
Resupply and recover, but be quick.
Oh, that just heals the person who picks it up. I didn't realize that. Well, it doesn't matter a whole lot because nobody had taken significant damage. Okay, so far it's just farmhands. That's not that hard to deal with. Mortimer can start the process of getting rid of the ones in the back, while the Leper and Crusader can focus on the one in position 1. Who can heal himself, apparently. Also, so they have an ability called Ceaseless Labor and an ability called Pause from Labor. That seems kind of contradictory to me. Alright, and chop on the one in front, because it at least had a chance to get the kill. And even more blood. And more stress, too. And even more stress. And, okay, he resisted the blight the second time, at least. Okay, may as well go for another plague case and get the guy in the back. And Hugh, the guy in front.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
And Dazzling Light to see if we can reduce the number of attacks incoming this turn. We can! Okay, go for an Anti-Venom and Inspiring Cry because we need to reduce the Crusader's stress level a little bit. Yeah, Hugh will get rid of the Divine Aberration and the regular enemy, and the other two will die of blight this turn. So let's go for some anti-venom and some big healing. And we can essentially just wait and run out the clock.
Death by inches.
And make sure just hold the papers, because there's no reason not to. And Inspiring Cry. And now for the next wave. Okay, now we have to deal with the Sleeper's Herald, but they aren't actually that dangerous. Smite could one-shot, and it does.
Obliterated.
Okay, that just leaves the other two. I have an idea. So I'll have the Plague Doctor concentrate on this one, unsuccessfully. Stun the one all the way in the back. So I've reduced the accuracy of one, I've stunned the other, and the third one has already acted. And now we just concentrate on the farmhand in the front with the low accuracy attacks that are all we have to concentrate on with. Wonderful. You know, the way I planned it would have gone a lot cooler, but, you know, this is Darkest Dungeon. Things never go the way you plan them. Might?
Eradicated.
Ooh. Light.
Precision and power.
And stun. Okay, get rid of the other one, or at least weaken the other one. Okay, one Zealous Accusation can get rid of both of them, and there's a Plow Horse now. Bestial Scream. I've never seen them use that ability before. All it does is stress. Oh, it was a well-timed use of Pause from Labor. Getting rid of you is going to be a little difficult now. Especially if I keep missing with everything. Right, or one Zealous Accusation could do it. Alright, let's See if we can stun the horse. 90% stun resistance says probably not. Alright, purge the corpses so they don't become crystalline aberrations. Though the plow horse so far hasn't caused us too much grief. Let's see if we can sustain that lack of grief. Okay, it's stunned, it's poisoned, now we just chop it.
Their cursed champion falls.
Blood in the mud. Okay, now we have to deal with a scarecrow, which is... Oh, I didn't notice there's a new creature type, Husk. As usual, Mortimer handles the enemy backline, as she is so good at doing. And...
A singular
I
strike.
may as well use Zealous Accusation and Hue so we can damage the Scarecrow while he's in stealth. And despite having 35 dodge, both of those attacks managed to hit. Nice job, guys. Let's just have a brief round of applause for our melee line over here. Though now Hot needs to spend some time using stress skills again. Both have the same amount of health, but will just dazzle the one farther back. It's harder to damage that one. Alright. Noxious Blast on the one that isn't stunned. I need that accuracy buff. Dazzling Light also on the one that isn't stunned in the hopes of keeping it from acting at all. Perfect. Okay, chop the crystal.
Another
And now I
abomination
essentially have a free
cleansed from
action
our
to use
lands.
Inspiring Cry. And the last remaining farmhand will... Okay, but the Sleeper's Dream shows up before we have a chance to put it down.
A closer look, perhaps?
The one of you who has the fewest hit points. Now let's find out... Let's find out what happens when I use Holy Water on it. Nothing. Let's find out what happens when I use Medicinal Herbs on it. Also nothing. But... Okay, that one heals everyone. Okay. And the colors shift. Gleaming. Powered up bleed and healing.
Trapped in a blasphemous approximation of reality.
Okay, fortunately we're dealing with Nashers who aren't really that dangerous. Unfortunately we're also dealing with a madman who is in fact that dangerous. I mean the stress levels aren't that high, but he could still be a serious problem if we leave him alive for too long. So here's the plan. Everyone who can target the madman, target the madman. Those of you who cannot target the madman, instead move the Nashers to get the madman pulled forward so that you will be able to target the madman. Because we don't want him to use Doomsday too many times. Stress levels are getting to be a little dangerous, but he's within range of Dazzling Light now, and his stun resistance is relatively low. Follow that up with Plague Grenade, and now he's blighted for his entire health bar. Okay. Chop on the Nasher that isn't blighted, because there's a reason for that, which is I don't want to get rid of all of the enemies until I have a chance to use Inspiring Cry. I need the stress reduction badly right now. Okay, no more extra stress. Now we just have to deal with regular enemies. I mean, Rabid Rush is somewhat dangerous, but that's manageable compared to what we were.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
Ringing ears.
Though getting 2 criticals in a single round of combat, that could be a bit of a
The
problem.
end approaches.
Bandage, and then I'm actually going for Judgment, because it had a chance to get rid of one of the Nashes. Hue, and miss, because of course it does. Okay, Noxious Blast on... Just go with Incision. Just get rid of, remove an enemy. That's all I want you to do. Make an enemy not there anymore. Okay, at least this one isn't a critical. That's good. Another incision on the Nasher. Okay, now it will die eventually, even if we just fail at everything. So, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and focus on healing, on stress healing a little bit. Because we need the stress healing real bad. Okay, now we just have spiders. But they're faster than us, because everything is faster than us. Judgment cannot one-shot the spiders, so I may as well just go with Dazzling Light to try to reduce the number of actions that they take. That's the whole strategy here. I'm just trying to do everything I can to reduce the number of actions the enemies get. And that is why I am trying to reduce the number of actions the enemies get. Anti-Venom, and then Noxious Blast on the one in the front. It does nothing. Alright. Smite can one-shot, but it needs to hit in order to do that. Chop also can one-shot, but also needs to hit. Yes, I started saying that before I found out the attack missed. Let me just say I guessed right. Okay, Incision finally gets the kill. Still, 28 enemies down is not bad. Alright, if Chop hits, it will most probably one-shot. I had to say it. I just had to say it. Some Divine Grace on that poor Plague Doctor over there. And Zealous Accusation to remove one more of the spiders. And now the Sleeper's Dream shows up. I'm honestly kind of grateful.
Safe from the comet's maddening light.
Have your spoils.
For now.
And, I guess we should interact with Mildred. And we found
gold,
sapphires.
Trinkets and baubles. Paid for in blood.
Okay, onward.
Reality regained.
Okay, so we're back to reality, at least for now. Okay, I'm actually going to go for Boldness Vapor from the melee line for now. The good news is we don't have any afflictions yet. And to attempt to maintain that, I'm going to try to stun the enemy that can use Bestial Scream. Alright. Hugh still cannot one-shot the Sleeper's Herald, so I'll use Chop. But this also brings the Plow Horse within range of Noxious Blast, which is the real reason I did that. Okay, can Smite one-shot? No, go for Stunning Blow then. Or Stunning Blow also can't accomplish anything. But now that I can start stacking the accuracy debuff on the Plow Horse, it's a lot less dangerous. Chop for the loss. And Zealous Accusation for the win. Alright. And more Divine Grace on poor Mortimer over there. Okay, and we have more farmhands. I'm glad I managed to get the one accuracy debuff I did get.
Annihilated.
May as well stick with Plague Grenade so we can at least damage the thing. And of course it gets off one last bestial fuck you. Alright, Dazzle the Farmhead. And now it's the backline that needs stress healing. Alright, Inspire the Plague Doctor.
A momentary abatement.
Incision can get rid of the aberration. That just removes it as a problem. I'm just gonna go for Judgment on the Farmstead. There's not a whole lot else that the Vestal needs to do right now.
The monster's size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
And I have a free shot for Inspiring Cry. Well, it's the Vestal who has the most stress, so let's give her the stress treatment. And more farmhands, and yes indeed, every one of them will fall. That's a good start. I'll let Mortimer get started on dealing with their back line. I'm actually going to go for another Inspiring Cry. This time it's the Crusader himself who needs the stress reduction. And Dazzling Light with Farmstead in the front. You get rid of the crystal. Judgment to soften up this specific farmhand. And now he'll die from the blight. Plague Grenade to get rid of the other one. Okay, that just leaves the one that was stunned as the only one who actually gets an action this round. In that case, I'm going for the Inspiring Cry because I need the stress reduction. I'm gambling that one of us gets to go before he does. And now it kind of doesn't matter. Mortimer is not going to be able to one-shot the Sleeper's Herald, so I'm just going to have to go for the enemy in the back. Like so. But that's the end of the Herald. How many have we got? We're up to 38. I think our record is 39, so we're actually holding up quite well. Especially since we didn't get the Miller's Hearth option, which allows us to camp and decrease stress and stuff. I'm honestly a little surprised, happy, but surprised that we managed to avoid any afflictions yet. Incision on the one that isn't taking damage over time. Dazzling Light on the one that doesn't have eliminated stun resistance. I probably should have just used Judgment on the other farm. Anti-Venom to get rid of the 8 life points per turn, and Hugh. And Failure. Okay, and now it gets to sow the seeds again. And now someone's resolve is about to be tested. And he's selfish. Okay.
Self-preservation is paramount, at any cost.
And Smite. And we're back to the Sleeper's Dream, and we're going beyond time and space. Okay, now we have the
curiosities, begging for examination.
Right. At last, a chance to rest.
A moment of
we can
respite.
afford to feast.
A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
And I don't know if nighttime ambushes are possible, so I'm going to use Zealous Vigil since it has a secondary effect that's useful anyway. And then Zealous Speech. And then Chant on the Leper, who is religious. And we're out of time units. The Leper's stress is still quite high, but everyone else's stress is nice and low. And there's no possibility of any midnight surprises. And the colors shift. And it's gleaming again, which means more blood. And everyone takes a stress hit.
To parts and times unknown.
Okay, let's see how much farther we can make it. Alright, Smite will not one-shot, so go for Stunning Blow. You need to deprive the enemy of actions if it is possible to do so. Now let's go for Dazzling Light for the same reason. Actually, I really should have gone for the Ghoul with Dazzling Light. And Plague.
Well struck.
Any critical is welcome, even if it's just a Plague Grenade critical. And Hugh will not kill the Crush here in the front, but Chop will. This time I am actually going to stun the Ghoul. Okay, but now the Ghoul is within range of Noxious Blast, which when you have a single target is just straight up better than Plague Grenade. Alright. The Leper some anti-venom bandages. Okay, that at least brings it down to where I can finish it off with teleportation. The cool thing about the gleaming effect is that, enemies don't leave behind corpses at all, pretty much. Corpses just end at the end of the round.
Consumes the mind.
Stun the Swinotar. Thank you. We can get rid of the ghoul this round, even with that miss. We can still do this, team. We just need, it's blighted for 13, so I just need you to do 11, and you did 21. Thank you. Okay. Use Inspiring Cry, on the off chance that we eventually manage to reduce the leper's stress level to 0 and remove the affliction.
Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Blight resistance is 100%. This is 140% base blight chance, but you know what? I need the debuff. And it manages to blight anyway. Okay, 165% stun resistance. We're not stunning this thing anymore. Which means we need to do some damage, though it can only use Crunching Backhand at this point. On the other hand, Crunching Backhand is apparently plenty. Okay, fortunately it's relatively fragile, actually. Unfortunately, sometimes it manages to resist both the debuff and both the debuff and the blight from Noxious Blast. But if we can keep it stunned, I'm going for another Inspiring Cry, honestly, because we have a single enemy that only gets one action. I'm an idiot. I was literally in the process of saying, because we have a single enemy that only gets one action per round, but is size 2, reinforcements can't arrive. It turns out I was wrong. Reinforcements can always arrive when you're in the Color of Madness. Stun the one enemy that hasn't acted yet that you have any chance to stun. I was going to say get rid of the Heaver, but of course you can't do that. And Shakespeare. And more pain.
Reeling.
Hello, pain.
About to break.
I wasn't sure when you would arrive. Smite. Still has a 40% chance to deal very sturdy damage over time. Shake it off after getting hit in the face by a ball and chain. You know, Frostart, your bedside manner could use a little work. Just a little bit. And now Frostart's resolve is tested. And Masochistic, that's our second affliction of the episode.
Those who
or of
covet
the mission.
injury find it in no short supply.
Go for Chop. Go for Smite. And that's the end of the Swinotar.
The greater the glory.
And Mortimer, looks like Mortimer is about to be the next one to take a resolve check. Right. Dazzle the Slayer. Perfect. Alright. To my two frontline people, I need you together to take out the Heaver. And Hatat just did it by himself. Well, he did what I was going to order him to do anyway, so I can't really complain. And now we have a large flesh eater. I'm genuinely not sure how much farther we can make it on this mission. Dazzle the Flesh Eater, because it's the most dangerous of the three of them. I also I'm realizing now, like this is my how big my brain is. I'm just realizing now that I should have been using Emboldening Vapors a lot more because it has the advantage of lasting for a much longer time, since the fights essentially don't end in the Color of Madness DLC. That just finally occurred to me. Ho-ho. Actually, I was going to go for another Dazzling Light to prevent damage intake. Unfortunately, there's no way we're stunning that Flesh Eater. They use Tentacle Devour without using Weakened Prey. So it used Tentacle Devour on a target that wasn't marked. That's unusual. Alright. Golden Favors. I'm going to do one each for the two frontline people. Alright, Divine Grace. And I really need to prevent the Flesh Eater from using Tentacle Devour again. And that accomplished it. Thank you, Viviel. And Smite has no chance of one-shotting, so I'll go for the small chance to stun them. And we got it! You know, the performance of this team, I'd like to take a moment to appreciate the performance of this team has been pretty damn heroic. I'm actually going to smite the ghoul because it deals extra damage to the ghoul, and I can do a fine job of getting rid of the, I should be able to get rid of the heaver with the leper. Of course, having said that, I now know that the leper will miss. And Mortimer is stunned again. Alright, and chop. And it failed to one-shot. I assumed he could one-shot, I assumed wrong. Dazzle the ghoul because it has stress skills, and failed to dazzle the ghoul. You know, we're so close to the end, I'm not going to waste a turn. We're so close to the next point where I can just manually reset the turn order. I'm just going to go for Plague Grenade rather than having Mortimer. Okay, and welcome to our third resolve check of the
abyss.
Not
returns,
yet, but
even the
pretty soon.
Gaze.
Stunned and suffering a resolve check. Stalwart. That is good.
Many fall in the face of chaos, but not this one. Not today.
That brings back memories. You. Okay, the wretch is finally... Oh, the Seeds of Madness effect still exists. Jealous accusation to get rid of at least the seed, even if I can't get rid of the ghoul. And Divine Grace. Advantage because I'm not sure how much longer this mission will be able to continue. And continue hacking away at the ghoul. And the Sleeper's Dream is back.
Battle behind, battle ahead. But for a moment, peace.
And that heals everyone. Okay, get back into the default order, and we can still continue. Having a
lifetime of pious toil. An eternity of suffering.
Corpus responds, wounds heal, scars fade. Oh. I can't use emboldening vapors anymore. Well, in that case, let's use noxious. Let's just stick with spamming Noxious Blast. That debuff can be really helpful. Dazzling Light can only deprive him of one of his actions, but any action that I can deprive him of is still useful. The Master Beck. Okay, that just summons a farmhand. Winter's Breath. What's that do? All it seems to do is prevent him from attacking. Oh, but he's now guarded by the frozen farmhand. So now I need to shatter the farmhand before I can, And guard skills for us are disabled.
The horror.
The
How
reaping.
quickly the tide turns.
I know if I had Mildred's locket, that would make one character immune to the reaping. Alright. Let's go for Noxious Blast, because any bit of extra damage I can get on the frozen farmhand is helpful. Hollow Keening. Oh yeah, that's the one that just causes stress. Well, we're getting to the point where heart attacks are a possibility. Ow.
Of dread.
I'm really glad I brought a nice and tanky team composition to this. I'm also really glad that everyone in my front line has an ability that hits multiple targets. Because the thing is... Stalwart! So...
Many fall in the face of chaos, but not this one. Not today.
So we had 2 afflictions, and we had 2 virtues. Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. Alright, Hugh. Well, the Miller managed to dodge that anyway. The Vestal just needs to focus on healing. There's nothing else she can do. There's no time for her to do anything else. The bastard. Okay, this time it's a Sleeper's Herald. Only the unfaithful fear death. Alright, just go for another big heal because I need to diminish the effect of the reaping. Okay, and the Master beckons again. Chop can one-shot the Herald. Does need to hit, though. I have truly mastered life and death. Alright, Plague Grenade. This is the only thing we have that can reliably damage the Herald, even if the damage is rather gradual. Smite cannot one-shot the Herald, so I may as well use Zealot's Accusation and also damage the Scarecrow. Okay, let's go for another Plague Grenade, because anything that damages the Miller is good. We need him to stop being alive. And I'll just have the Vestal continue focusing on healing, because the Miller's probably about to hit us very hard. He is! Ashes to ashes. If we can avoid heart attacks, we should be able to handle this. Oh, great. He can also heal himself. The Miller can also heal himself. Can Hugh finish off the Herald? It has a chance to, but it doesn't. It does just barely not enough damage to do that. Wonderful. Alright, Zealous Accusation will get rid of the Herald, and that also pulls the Miller forward 1 space. And I'm actually going to have him go for Solemnity. I need Vivial to survive.
Pitch of battle.
Mortimer could have an action, that would be very nice.
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
Alright, now I can use Noxious Blast. It blights for a larger amount of damage. Okay, and he uses the Master Beckons instead of the Harvest. That's what really... That's what's important. I need to try to avoid letting the Miller heal himself if I can. I think if there are fewer than 2 enemies guarding him, then he will always use the Master Beckons instead of Harvest. Haunting Revelation. Okay, now he goes for Winter's Breath, and there's really very little I can do about it. Might as well go for Noxious Blast to at least start the process of killing the Frozen Farmhand. And now someone's about to be at... No! I was going to say Vivian was about to be at death's door, but no.
Stage for heroism.
He survives it.
Or cowardice.
And Hollow Keening doesn't deal health damage. Right, Divine Grace to get him away from Death's Door. I was expecting to be getting him off of Death's Door, but apparently not. Alright. And Chop. Not enough to kill, but it's at least a start. So he's blighted for 7 and has 13, so I need to deal 6 damage. This will deal 4 to 8. That's a gamble. It did 5. Because of course it did 5. Because 5 is the maximum amount of damage it could do and still not solve the problem for him. He's using Incision on the Scarecrow. Because now I can use Hue to get rid of both. Or I can miss and still not get rid of the Scarecrow. And now the enemies are regenerating health. How much are they regenerating? 5 hit points per round. But critical regeneration is possible. And he uses the Harvest to heal himself even more, because of course he does. Okay. So the Vestal focus on keeping people healed. Okay, he didn't use the Master Beckons. That means he isn't moving backward. Alright. Light, grant me your strength. Okay, going for Smite, because that allows me to do big damage. Going for Noxious Blast, because that deals more damage over time. I mean, a single Noxious Blast is 21 damage, essentially. It takes a while for the damage to essentially percolate out, but to unpack itself into the enemy, but it's still a lot of damage.
Unnerved, unbalanced.
Okay, and now finally someone is actually at Death's Door. Okay, she survived the death blow check at least. Need Divine Comfort this time. Just get everyone away from Death's Door. Chop to one-shot the Herald. Which also pulls the Miller forward one space. And Stunning Blow has a small chance to stun, or it could just miss. Roots, what is that? A debuff that failed, so I don't actually know what the debuff is. Okay, and we have another Scarecrow. And the Miller goes for the Harvest again, which means he gets to heal himself again. For a lot, too. Fortunately, he's not guarded by anything, so I can hit him with Plague Grenade. Chop could finish off the Scarecrow, but it does need to hit. The Scarecrow has a frighteningly high amount of dodge. And a frighteningly high amount of luck, considering how often it survives with exactly one hit. Noxious Blast to get rid of the Scarecrow. Okay, I guess I get to find out what Roots does. It reduces speed and accuracy, because of course it reduces accuracy. Because we needed our accuracy to be reduced, didn't we? Now he's calling it a Farmhand, which is going to freeze the Farmhand. Unless I get a critical and one-shot the Farmhand. Then he won't freeze the Farmhand.
Inspiration and improvement.
Okay, he goes for the Reaping and not the Harvest. That is good. Yes, the ability that does that much damage and stress is good. Because the other alternative is worse. Okay, we finally managed to get... We have at least managed to briefly get the Miller's health below half. And now he goes for the Master Beckons again. Okay, it's another Herald. Please survive, Vigil. Thank you. Sticking with Plague Grenade for Mortimer. Just deal as much damage to the Miller as I can. Big healing on the Leper. Okay, the first one of you... Of the front line, the first one of you to get the turn, get rid of the Herald. You can't. Screw it. I'll hope for a critical. And I got a critical! Thank you, Hot. That critical was incredibly timely. Now he goes for the Reaping.
Perched at the very precipice.
And now Mortimer's on Death's Door again. Okay. But I can reach him with Chop. I can't hit him with Chop, but I can reach him with Chop. Unfortunately, the enemy's using flail the crops on the wrong target. Ha! Thank you, Vivial. I needed that so incredibly badly. Please, Mortimer.
Survival is a tenuous proposition in this sprawling tomb.
Okay, with Mortimer's death, our chances of winning this fight just crashed because Mortimer was doing the majority of the damage.
The wounds of war can be healed, but never
In fact,
hidden.
we cannot win this fight now. We do not have the ability to put out enough damage to win this fight. We need to retreat.
As life
When it
ebbs,
lets me retreat, that is.
terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
Abandon the farmstead, yes.
Do not ruminate on this fleeting failure. The campaign is long, and victory will come.
Still a new record for the number of kills at 48. Mortimer is refracted. Does that mean Mortimer isn't dead? Okay, we have a couple of diseases and a lot of stress. Let me return to town, please.
You answered the letter. Now, like me,
Yeah, Mortimer is...
you are a part of this place.
Okay, someone mentioned that to me in the comments a while ago. I remember now. So, when a hero dies in the farmstead, they aren't fully dead. They're just kind of missing for a little while, and it's possible for them to, they'll come back after a while and still be alive, but also the people I put in for stress treatment haven't received stress treatment. Were we not actually gone for a week? Where's the... Yeah, Mortimer is gone, lost in dimensions beyond time and space. But, yeah, the week just kind of didn't progress. That is weird. So, yeah, everyone who was receiving stress treatment is still receiving stress treatment. That week just kind of didn't happen. Huh. I guess that's related to the distortions of time and space. Let me see, I can upgrade the survival. What else can I upgrade? I can upgrade the survivalist. Kind of max out the tavern.
All manner of diversion and dalliance
And,
await those who cross the threshold with coin in
Sanitarium's
hand.
already maxed out. I think... Is the Nomad Wagon maxed out? It is. So yeah, almost everything is maxed out at this point. The Abbey and the, How many of them do I need? 23. Okay, may as well also max out the Abbey.
A little hope, however desperate, is never without worth.
Okay, so that was bizarre in a lot of different ways, and it's gonna take us a little while to recover from the effects of that. But we did manage to get more shards. Let me see if I can find something to spend the shards on. That's this toggle. The Heretic Passage for the Vestal. A Huskfang Whistle. A Crystal Pendant, which increases the shards given. None of these really stands out as being that helpful. Let's see. The Miller's Pipe could be useful, but also requires way more shards than I have. Either way, well, this is not the end of this episode. I am going to go get us a fresh recording file. So, I'll be back in a moment.
I remember days when the sun shone and laughter could be heard from the tavern.
Okay, I am back. Let's see if there's anything worth buying from the Nomad Wagon. There is not. See, no, I already know nobody needs any weapon or armor upgrades. The question is, does anybody need ability upgrades? And I'm fairly certain the answer to that is also no. So, let's go ahead and look at some camping skills. So, Unspeakable Commune is actually worth having, even if it isn't amazing. So... Oh, Hatat also needs stress treatment, but... Okay, he has the important camping skills. Somehow I missed stress treating him at the end of the last recording file. Also, everyone really should have at least Encourage. It's probably the most consistently useful camping skill that isn't unique to any specific character. Also, I just realized I've never seen the Survivalist flicker before, because I don't use the Survivalist anywhere near as much as I should. Might as well get Lash's Solace for the, what's he called? The Flagellant. Flagellant is the word that I'm looking for. Noyers does not have Chant. Chant is actually quite good. Okay, just keep going through, and we're almost through, and I've actually prepared my camping skills. Alright, now let's go ahead and treat the Crusader's stress. He needs it. And now we need to burn off a week while we wait for everyone to recover from the various kinds of trauma they've all experienced. Which is an opportunity to get some experience, and it would be an opportunity to progress towards the boss fight in the Weald, except we can't really... I don't know, I could do a medium-length champion level mission. Question is, who do I bring? Let's see, put Holland in position 1. Put Holland in position 2, like I said. Put Halle in position 1. Mortagna in position 3, and Mortagna in position 4, like I said, and Brewerdine in position 3 to take advantage of marking targets. Okay, I'm just gonna have one person who's below level 5, and then otherwise it's all champions, and this should still be a viable team. You got the Blood Pact and the Vial of Sand for the Occultist. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm gonna go for the Ancestor's Scroll and the Worry Stone. The Occultist's Crimson Court trinkets aren't really very good. Some of the Crimson Court trinkets are amazing, some of them are really not. Oh, I lost a Worry Stone because it was being carried by the Plague Doctor who disappeared into the Abyss. When she comes back, will we get the Worry Stone back? Flashfire Gunpowder and the Gunslinger's Buckle. Because I am planning on going for Mark Exploitation with this guy. Crusader gets the same thing he always gets, as does the Hellion. That's right, the Hellion gets the Glittering Spalders and the Signed Conscription, and the Crusader gets the Mark of the Outcast and the Lioness Warpaint. It's a weird setup, but I'm going with it. I'd say this is a viable setup. Let's see if we can get some experience. Get a little bit more food. We're going to the Weald, not the Warrens, so free food is unlikely. There's plenty of torches. Plenty of anti-venom. Not a lot of need for bandages, but there will be a little. A skeleton key or two and some medicinal herbs. Let's go with 1 medicinal herbs. Okay, let's see if any of you survived this experience.
I knew all these paths once. Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
Hey, don't insult the paths by comparing them to your ambitions, Ancestor. Nothing is as twisted as your ambitions. And I guess that's the Corvid's appetite triggering.
Waiting to be spent.
I wouldn't call that a fortune. Okay, ectoplasm and a crone. It is really vulnerability X. There's not much benefit to it, just little. Alright. We can hack to get rid of one ectoplasm. Tracking shot to de-stealth the crone. Probably should have just waited until next turn to do that, and smite to get rid of the other ectoplasm.
Eradicated.
But either way, the ectoplasm is gone, and the crone by herself can't really do anything. Grace. Actually, she can do stress. That is a potential problem. Well, if it bleeds, we can kill it, and it does in fact bleed. Pistol shot to finish the job, and there we go. Not bad at all for a technically underleveled team. And we found a right luggage. Oh, no, it's a left luggage. Never mind. Okay. And the highwayman is definitely the one to disarm the trap. And even more scouting. Go ahead and light us up a torch.
Nature herself.
Through the thicket. I feel like we
victim to the spreading corruption.
don't really need a shovel to get through that. We need an axe to get through the thickets. Like, the shovels make sense for most of the stuff, but for this one, it really does just need to have a hatchet.
Trinkets and baubles.
Though you can use a shovel to hack stuff apart. And our first hateful virago, but we need to deal with the ectoplasm first. However, I can mark the virago. And miss with pistol shot. Alright. We can hack on the first ectoplasm. Smite on the second ectoplasm, and it fails. Wonderful. Which means it probably uses cytokinesis this time. Cytokinesis or life from death? Place your bets. Well, now that he used Ruinous Hex, I think we know what's gonna happen. Or not. How fortunate. Well, from death comes life is actually not that much of a problem, since all it does is prevents us from healing. And this is an enemy team that doesn't really inflict very much damage. If there were, like, a tree giant guy in here, then we'd be in serious trouble, but there isn't.
The light,
So instead,
the promise of safety.
Go ahead and use this pull. If it bleeds on the ectoplasm so that it can't use cytokinesis. Pistol shot on the virago. And we hit this time! But yeah, the virago is gonna need to be prepared for a bit of pain. Alright, putrefying breath actually does quite a bit of damage. Neither weakening curse nor vulnerability hex will kill, so let's use vulnerability hex on the crone so that she's marked for later. You know, the music is really doing its best to hype up these enemies, but it isn't working. They're not that dangerous.
Destroy them all.
So the crone is trying her best. Go ahead and smite the fungus. So the fungus can outlive the virago that created it. Her dodge is really high. Because that is a potential also, because the fungus is actually starting to create some problems. Although he's weakening her to reduce her damage. Of course, she fails to resist that debuff. And the fungus lives with 1 hit point. And so, of course, since I've reduced her damage, she goes for the ability that doesn't cause any. And there was a small chance for that to kill, but it failed. There was a small chance for that to hit, but it failed. Okay, now she's gone.
Is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Oh, but the fungus still counts as an enemy, so the fight doesn't end until we destroy it.
This expedition at least promises success.
Okay. More torch. Okay, since I have to come back this way anyway, there's no point in collecting this loot, or there's little point in collecting this loot this
The way
time,
is lit. The path is
because
clear.
we may well have used
We require only the strength to follow it.
we may well have used up some supply items by the time we're coming back the other way, and then we'll have more inventory space. Of course, it's also possible we'll have encountered the collector without the trapezahedron, because we all know that's going to happen at some point during this mission.
For the slightest
We just don't know
lapse in
exactly when.
concentration.
Tracking shot, de-stealth the Fusilier. If it bleeds, to de-blood the Fusilier. Weird reconstruction to hopefully get a decent healing number to keep the highwaymen from dying on this mission. And smite and miss. One more if it bleeds and we're rid of the Fusilier. Okay, that's the big damage gone.
Hope blossoms.
But we need to heal from all of the damage we took while we were under the effect of life from death. Just keep going with pistol shot. And smite. And another pistol shot. Let's see. Can I finish him off with grape shot blast? I just straight up can't. I mean, this is a champion level mission, but it's not a champion level highwayman, so it makes sense that he would have a little bit of difficulty dealing damage. Unfortunately, we are going to finish this mission with more health than we had this fight with more health than we had when we started it.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
You know, the doorways all have like the family crest symbol, but it would arguably make more sense for them just to have the stress symbol. Especially this one! Because we're completely out of formation fighting a Virago. The maggots at least aren't a real problem. And have a further advantage of not leaving behind corpses, so we can't use from death life. Wicked hack, get rid of one of the two the maggot that has a turn left. And what's your stun resistance? 240% stun resistance. Okay, let's just get rid of the last maggot, so the Virago is at least forced to fight all by himself. And now we just hack him to death. You know, this isn't as bad as I first thought it was when you realize that the Virago is a support unit, which means that his threat level is determined heavily by the strength of his teammates, and his teammates are a bunch of maggots. We're almost rid of the Virago. Just a little more. Keep healing. Whoa! That was quite a weird reconstruction. I wasn't expecting it to go that well. Bleeding for 3. You know what? I'm going to risk one more attack from the Virago to get a chance to use Inspiring Cry. And weird reconstruction. Whoa. Yeah, Mortagne really would just like to be a main hero. And we didn't even have to deal with one more attack.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Okay, may as well investigate this nothing over here. I'm not using my last key on a luggage because I have, I'm also not using it on that heirloom chest, actually, because there's a chance of having a hidden room
The match
and
is
getting a
struck.
trapezahedron
A
would be
blazing
more likely
star
to be
is
used.
born.
Though, I don't know, I don't have that much expense left for training up heroes, so there's an argument. Well, I also don't have that much need for heirlooms, so it's kind of... You know, I'll use it on the thing I definitely have instead of saving it for the thing that I might have. How about that?
Wealth beyond measure. awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
And commence backtracking. Except in this case, there's actually stuff to do during the backtracking, because we can potentially get useful loot.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Actually, there's an interesting question. How fast does torchlight decrease? Does it decrease by... Yeah, it decreases by 1 for every round when we're out of combat. A round... When you're not in combat, a round is essentially 1 hallway tile.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
So you can actually calculate in advance exactly how much torchlight you will use up to go a particular distance. So, for instance... So entering this room will consume 1 torchlight. I think. Nope, entering the room does not consume a torchlight. But you use up 1 torchlight for each tile of length that the hallway has. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 tiles in this hallway, so it will use up 5 torchlight. And 1 shovel. Though I'm not sure exactly how much a single torch increases the torch level by. Okay, so we're at 74, I light a torch, and we're at 99. So it increases... 1 torch then gives us 25 torchlight. Ah, all ectoplasm all the time. Let's see if we can handle this. Not much point in doing anything other than healing for the occultist. Okay, we can hack, gets rid of 1. Pistol shot does not. And neither does smite. Okay, yep, I was gonna say, cytokinesis is likely.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
However... which one does more damage? Weakening Curse does more damage. Not a question you ask very often. And Grape Shot last. And now there's only 1. And it chooses not to use, chooses to take mercy on me and not use cytokinesis.
Palpable fear.
Come on, guys. You need to work on your aim. See, look at Brad Edwardine. He never misses. I need weird reconstruction on the Hellion, even if it risks a cytokinesis. And I need this one to hit. Thank you, Hale. I may as well go and collect
These
this
nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
That may not have been a good decision.
As the light gains purchase,
Definitely going for vulnerability
spirits
hex
are
and
lifted,
weakening curse on the
and
ghoul.
purpose is made clear.
Even with the extra damage to Mark, it didn't do much. Iron Swan can't one-shot without a critical, but it can two-shot pretty reliably. Smite also can't one-shot, so I'm going to go for Stunning Blow and miss, which is really what I should expect when I attack.
How
Whoa.
quickly the tide turns.
That isn't good. Okay, this means I can't afford to do anything other than weird reconstruction when the Hellion... when the Hellion? Whoa! It actually did 0! Lash of the Tail actually did 0. Let's go with Adrenaline Rush to get rid of the bleeding, because I need the damage boost for later. And Weird Reconstruction to get rid of the damage, or get rid of some of it. Which also means that we've essentially accomplished nothing in this round of combat. Whatever the Crusader does is going to be all that is accomplished. And the Crusader does 9 damage. Alright, pistol shot. Oh! Wants payback for that stun, and he doesn't realize that it wasn't the ghoul that stunned him. Horror and the worries.
The birthplace of dread.
Go ahead and weakening curse the insatiable ghoul. reduce its frankly terrifying damage output. Okay. Wicked Hack actually has a chance to finish the cool off, and it does in style! Okay, now we just need to get rid of the gargoyles. Okay, Smite does 7 to 13, and I don't have Zealous Accusation. Instead, I have Holy Lance. I need to equip Zealous Accusation. I forgot I switched to Holy Lance because of a specific situation that is no longer relevant. Ow.
Ears, blurred vision. The end approaches.
I mean, I knew this mission wasn't going to be a milk run, but I didn't expect it to go this wrong this fast.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Oh, we are back in formation. How much mission is left? Not very much. Which means now is actually probably a good time to make camp to try to get the Hellian's stress level manageable so that she doesn't end up wigging out on us.
A spark
Feast?
without kindling is a goal without hope.
I don't have Bandit Sense, and I'm not using Unspeakable Commune, so Zealous Vigil, which also reduces the Crusader's stress down to 0. Alright, I'm going to use Zealous Speech first, and now I don't have enough time for Gallows Humor, but I do have enough time for Stand Tall, which is... It's technically the same as Pep Talk, aside from removing the mortality debuffs, but the Crusader's stress skills are enhanced, and that includes camping skills.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Let's drop Holy Lance in favor of Zealous Accusation for crowd control. Okay. The good news is the Hellion is no longer in danger of having an immediate resolve check. And we're past the halfway point on this mission, so we should be able to, we should be able to finish without things going too much further sideways.
A shuddering,
Okay.
crystalline bulk.
Initially, it doesn't have very much protection, but is still potentially quite dangerous. Stick with Wicked Hack. Wicked Hack is going to do a lot of damage. Weakening Curse or Vulnerability?
Masterfully executed.
And then use Weakening Shard in return. Smite and miss. I need to use Vulnerability next. I need to reduce its dodge. I'm going to gamble that someone else is faster than the Aberration and use Wicked Hack on the thing instead. Right, vulnerability hack. And open vein to get rid of the Aberration. Yeah, the main purpose of Vulnerability Hex was actually to reduce its dodge. And yeah, I realize its protection increases as its health falls, but we can at least get through the early portion of the fight quickly. And then when it uses Return to the Stars, we can, rely on the damage it causes to itself from Return to the Stars. Alright, pistol shot on this one. Okay, continue using Weakening Curse to try to further reduce its protection. It resisted it. We can hack on the Shard, which also gets the Hellions much needed healing, or some moderate healing. Phase Gnaw. Okay, that also causes Blight. And Smite is now doing 2 to 4. Yeah, not only does it have plus 80% protection, it also has plus 40% damage. Anti-Venom. Yeah, I'm just gonna take out the
executed with impunity.
The crystal. shot will only do 2 to 3 now. At this point, I do basically just need to stall out while it bleeds itself to death with, You know, I'm gonna need better healing numbers than -9. Like, you tried to heal your teammate and instead you wound up causing 9 damage. But I can wait, and I may have to just stall out while it gradually bleeds itself to death. 9 hit points at a time. So we can still gradually damage it while we also, go for a bandage and an open vein. Because open vein is guaranteed to kill the shard. But I need to destroy the shard every time, because that will force it to make a new shard, which will cause it to take more damage. And in the meantime, we can gradually hack away at it with other attacks. Just a few more shards and it will be gone. Unfortunately, that's going to be a few more resolve checks before this is over. Third reconstruction, try not to cause 9 damage this time. And, oh right, I don't need to worry about killing the shard because the shard will, well I do, but the shard will kill itself.
Returns even the boldest gaze.
I may as well just go for a wicked miss. And Hale's resolve is tested and hopeless. You know, I would be feeling pretty hopeless if this was how this mission had gone too. Return to the stars, reducing its health a little further. Alright, open vein to prevent explosive undoing. We need to just keep wearing it down. We're almost out of here. And I'm just now noticing that its body is made of dead people. I actually hadn't realized that before. Also, yeah, weird reconstruction has been a bit of an emotional roller coaster today. I mean, we at one point it restored 34 hit points, another time it caused 9 damage. Okay, now the Crusader is paranoid.
The shadows whisper of conspiracy.
Oh, critical. I mean, it's 5 damage, but it's still a critical. I'll take it. Alright, return to the stars. Okay, 2 more of those and it's gone. And another one's hopeless. Okay, that's 3 afflictions.
No hope at all.
Okay, weakening curse has a chance to do 1 damage, so I'll try it. Please don't stun. Come on, I need you to resist the stun. That's too bad. It really does not like Bradwardine. Alright, this means that Smite can get rid of the crystal, so we don't take a whole bunch of damage this turn. And Wicked Hack can miss, and then it can use Return to the Stars again. And when it does that, it can reduce its own health down to 6. Okay, it's not targeting the Highwayman again, which reduces the probability that someone dies this turn. Alright. Heal the Highwayman. And a critical for 10! Do you just have something against Highwaymen or something, Mortagna? Okay, open vein to break the aberration so it doesn't explode. And you don't take orders, but you did what I was going to order you to do anyway. And it dies now. And so does the aberration that it created.
To the void.
And we got a martyr's seal. How appropriate. On the other hand, our odds of survival just plummeted.
A handsome reward. for a task well performed.
Seriously, our odds of survival are real low. I think we can make it through this mission, but it is not going to be easy. It's going to depend on getting at least decent luck. Alright, weird reconstruction on the person with the fewest hit points, and 24. That's a large part of the luck that we're going to need to get, is getting decent healing numbers.
Pummeling.
Tracking shot so that we can start damaging the crone. You're actually durable enough that you can just survive the bleeding, so I'm not going to use bandages on you yet, because they're needed for more fragile heroes. And 40! Nice! Mortagna really is coming through where it counts. That's what I like to see. Unfortunately, we are getting into the point where heart attacks are, a very real possibility. Torch, pistol shot the prone, miss. He keeps telling me he never misses, but he's lying. Alright, and Smite could finish off the Nasher, but I am not that lucky. And we're out of bandages now. And we're also, the Highwayman is getting into the heart attack range. And our 4th resolve check of the mission. What do we get this time? Selfish. Because we would beat the odds.
At any cost.
Alright. And another 0. At least you didn't cause 9 damage this time. And lovely. The Crusader stunned the Crusader stunned the main healer. Okay, we've at least gotten rid of one of the Nashers. And even more embrace the dark, but at least it isn't on the Highwayman. That's good. That's bad. That's very, very bad. Alright. Move the crone. Thank you, Hale. Okay, I need the Crusader to get a turn very soon.
Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
I guess I just have to use Open Vein. Okay, that ends the fight, and I can use food to get his health above 0.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Okay, the luck so far has been rather mixed, but we're so close.
And now the true test. Hold fast or expire.
Alright. Give the Highwayman a little more food to keep him from dying. And it's a trap. Okay, fortunately he resisted the... I assume that was Blight. Okay. No scouting and nothing in this room. Let's just keep going. Okay, hunger, which is at least an opportunity to restore a few hit points. And the opportunity to do a little bit of grave robbery, but unfortunately we now have a Crusader with hysterical blindness whose stress is extremely high, so... Okay, but we completed the mission! We survived! Congratulations, guys, you're all still alive. That's the best I could have hoped for.
Paths and roads bring soldiers and supplies. Let them arrive unharried.
I was hoping the stress levels wouldn't be gigantic, but, well, we at least survived the mission. Let's call this a win. Got some heirlooms. Quite a few deeds. And 2 more people are level 6 now. Bradwardine, who was originally level 4, is level 6 now. So there is that.
Trouble yourself not with the cost of this crusade. Its noble end affords you broad tolerance in your choice of means.
Holland is apparently an alcoholic and needs booze for stress treatment. Let's let him go drinking with the bounty hunter, who also needs some stress treatment. And let's add the Vestal. Let's make it a party. And Mortimer's back. Mortimer, nice to see that you've returned to this dimension. Apparently, you didn't manage to save the trinkets you were equipping because, let me see. Yeah, the Worry Stone has not been added to the inventory. So when someone is lost in time and space, their gear is actually gone permanently. Okay, after putting basically the entire operation into stress treatment, we're also now kind of out of money. Because I may as well just embark on another mission. And I still haven't cleared a path to the boss. And this is a long mission. It will give me the Ancestor's Pistol, which is somewhat useful. This is okay, so this is a short champion level mission. So if I were to bring Touché... Who do I have available as a main healer? Mules, who is a healer. And then, Hotot, or however you pronounce that name. And then, who to bring in position 4? This is three champions, and let's bring the other person named Hotot in position 4 as the Arablest. Okay, unequip all trinkets, sort by character class. And we get the bedtime story and the childhood treasure. Since the occultist is going to be our main healer, he gets the scroll and the Worry Stone. We're down to 1 Worry Stone. I'm going to need to visit the Shrieker before too long just to get those trinkets back. And yet again, I am sending someone who is level 4 on a champion mission. Though, I got away with it last time, and that was a medium-length mission, and this is a short mission, so it should be viable. Part of the main reason for this is because I want to get more mastery in the wield so that I can take on the final form of the cannon. And because, frankly, the inexperienced people need to level up fast anyway. Alright. Though it might be faster to, I don't need that. I only need 12 food if we're not making camp. Decent number of shovels, plenty of anti-venom, a few bandages. Lots of torches because of the wheeled paths being so long. Okay, this is viable. Let's see if we can survive this mission too.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from
Okay,
these
this
groves.
should be relatively straightforward.
Let us burn out this evil.
Alright, we'll use a bandage on the mummified remains. Of course, the solution for mummies is more bandages. Ah, more Nashers. Lovely. I seriously doubt it, but I kind of wonder if Hotot will actually reach Resolve level 6 from this mission. She probably won't because she's farther away from Resolve level 6 than Bradwardine was, and this is a shorter mission, so you won't get as much Resolve experience. Sniper Shot has a 74% chance to hit. Bola also has a 74% chance to hit, and neither will get a one-shot, so I may as well go with Bola.
Grievous injury.
In this particular fight, the Arablest has little to contribute. It's mostly the Hellions show. She's the only one who can one-shot them from full health, though she isn't guaranteed to do so.
Bandage and press this advantage.
give them no quarter.
That was a surprisingly profitable fight to be just with a pair of Gnashers. Okay, and since I don't know if there's a room battle over here, I have to go here. There's medicinal herbs to cleanse the carcass. And we have another carcass, but I don't have another medicinal herbs. And I guess this one has nothing left to offer. Ah, slime! More slime, because there is always more slime.
Annihilated.
Okay, that's one gone. And the Hellion was outdone by a Crusader. That's new. Alright, Bola to get rid of one and damage the other.
Onslaught.
And I should be able to finish the other one off with Sacrificial Stab. Well, if it had hit, I could have potentially finished it off. Let's try that again.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Okay, and there was a room battle over here. And it's even more slime.
Decimated.
There just is always more slime. Alright, that will set it up to be finished off by Bola. If the other one was Smite. And if the other one had survived Smite, I could have finished it off with Bola.
Confidence.
That is how you deal with slime.
As victories mount,
Oh, a map of the area.
so
That's
too will
useful.
resistance.
Or perhaps it isn't useful because apparently the map of the area doesn't actually contain any information about the area. Okay, yeah, I know, it actually just contains only information we already have, but that means that the map only contains information that we need to have in order to get to where the map is. That's the most useless map I've ever seen. It's like, well, if you're already here, if you're here, you already know this, so here it is, nice and written down for you. See, a map that included a mention of that trap existed would have been a helpful map.
With a singular purpose.
Instead, it's like, oh, so through this hallway there's a pair of slime monsters, and in this room there's a trio of slime monsters. Yeah, thank you, map. I already knew that. Ah, another ghoul. I guess this is an opportunity to get a little vengeance for the last ghoul. What the last ghoul did to my team. I'll let the Hellion handle the Gladiator by herself, or the Champion by herself, because frankly, she can do that. You see, this one's only rending for the old god. She doesn't have a problem with him. It's the ones that rend for the new god that are a problem. After you've been rent for the new god, being rent for the old god isn't really a big deal. Alright. And there he goes. And I also now have the opportunity to use Weakening Curse to decrease that uncomfortably high level of protection. And that is the power of a properly set up Aura Blast. Take us home, Hotot. Hotot weakened it for you so Hotot can finish the job.
This expedition at least promises success. The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
There's no point in keeping the stack of 10 food, so I may as well eat as much of it as we can to get everybody healed. Everybody else is at full health. I'm also not holding on to the citrine when I have the opportunity to get Jade. And now it's time for a little more violence. Ah, now we have Big Slime! We dealt with Little Slime, now we have to deal with Big Slime. Also, since we have to kill the giant ectoplasm first, that means we have to deal with Escape Cloud later. Whoa! I don't even need to worry about mark exploitation against this thing. Now when I have Sacrificial Stab. That's the thing about occultists. They never fail to disappoint you. It is really just in general, the occultist is the emotional roller coaster class. Alright. Wicked Hack. Sacrificial Stab. Still not enough damage. Sniper shot on the one that Crusader can't reach because the Crusader should be able to finish off the ectoplasm. But he'll be stuck with nothing else to do afterward. Or he'll just miss. That's also possible. Okay, I'm just gonna let the Crusader be the one to finish off the giant ectoplasm because everyone else can hit at least one of the other enemies.
A powerful blow.
Okay, the ectoplasm is finally done.
Perhaps the turning point.
And now and the other thing is, because the ectoplasm's corpse is still there, the bombards still can't use escape cloud. And for some reason they're choosing not to use Rain of Blight.
Impressive.
There we go.
Foolish horrors. Brought low and driven into
Yeah, I didn't
the mud.
expect that to be the last room battle. Though there is only one more. And this isn't the Collector. I was honestly expecting this to be the Collector. Alright. So use smart. Use Smite to start off on whatever they're called.
Power.
In the meantime, the rest of the team can focus on Virago. Vulnerability Hex to get rid of that 46 dodge. Or he'll just resist it because he has 110% debuff resistance.
Ringing ears. Blurred vision. The end approaches. Dazed. Reeling. About to break.
And yeah, they're all faster than us, so I basically just get to wait through 2 full turns for the enemy before I get to do anything. Just be surprised about it. Alright, Iron Swan.
Singular strike.
Oh, that's the end of the Virago, which also means I don't need to deal with life from death. Can Bola one-shot? No, it can't, so just use Sniper Shot on the Hag. And miss. I thought the whole point of being a sniper was not missing. Of course, the Hag also has incredibly high dodge, because everything here has incredibly high dodge. This is why you don't go in here with any unupgraded skills, you know, like I did, because I brought someone who isn't champion level yet. Alright, let's... Okay, the Hag only has 80% debuff resistance, not 110%. Your dodge is now only 21. I think we can overcome that with Sniper Shot. We cannot. Okay. Well, let's just hack her apart the normal way. Of course, why am I expecting her to be able to, why am I expecting the under-leveled Arablist to be able to overcome champion-level evasion? Why am I expecting the champion-level Occultist to be able to overcome champion-level evasion? Why do I expect my heroes to hit things? This is really just an existential question. Fortunately, Fetid Sensor is doing very little. There we go.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Okay. One more room battle, and then we can all go home triumphant. Assuming we don't all die in here somehow. Okay, not actually that bad of a room battle either. I don't want the front line to start taking apart the ectoplasm while the back line carefully wears down the health of the bombards without killing them.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
Okay, that bombard can survive one more sniper shot without being destroyed, assuming it isn't a critical, which it usually isn't. Weird reconstruction on the Crusader.
Can be healed, but never hidden.
Another mark prey on the Hellion, which does nothing because the enemy doesn't have any mark exploitation attacks. And yet, not only did I get this team composition in spite of that, I got it twice. Okay, we can't risk damaging the bombards anymore until the ectoplasm is gone. But it won't be much longer before the ectoplasm is gone. It's still above half health. What am I saying? I just keep setting myself up for these kinds of disappointments. Fortunately, as the Hellion takes damage, she also starts causing more. Unfortunately, the bombards have finally remembered that they can use Rain of Blight. The good news is, because the cytoplasm cannot avoid occupying position 2, everyone can comfortably hit it. That's just the thing about size 2 enemies in general. They can't avoid taking big damage. Their solution is just to have big health to make up for it, and big stun-causing abilities, which I believe exist just to spite me on a deep personal level. How does something that big have 21 dodge? Someone please explain that to me. More anti-venom. Another sniper shot. Okay, the good news is that the big slime is gone. The bad news is the bombards can use escape cloud. But one of them is also gone. Now it's just a question of one of us going before the bombard. Unfortunately, the Hellion is fast. Okay, it was a bit slow in the beginning, but we got him.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Okay, and return to the Hamlet. And the stress levels are even relatively
Corruption
low.
is an endless battle, but one that must be fought.
Okay, that was some good progress. Maybe we'll skip ahead of this. I don't want to watch the whole thing. Okay, so Hatat didn't make it to level 6, but she did make it to champion level. Alright. The Hellion has Eagle Eye, plus 5% critical ranged skills. The Hellion may actually be the only... No, she's not the only one. She's one of very few heroes in the game who does not have a single ranged skill.
For my unspeakable transgressions.
Stress levels are fine, so I just need to treat the diseases, of which there are many. Get rid of the hysterical blindness. Get rid of the worries. Get rid of the syphilis. How does Roz have syphilis? Never mind, I don't want to know. Okay, that's half of the diseases, and that's all we can afford to treat right now. Okay. Sort by level. And yet, it gets weird when you try to sort by level for heroes who are currently in the party. But let's just quick max out Roz's equipment and abilities now that I'm allowed to do that. There's not really much of a difference between Resolve level 5 and Resolve level 6. What disease do you have, Hatat? Rabies and hemophilia. Wonderful. And Mules has the creeping cough, which is actually not that big of a deal for someone who is mostly a main healer. Okay, I could take on the Fuseman. Or the Fuseman is the guy who gives you the trophy, but I could take on the cannon if I can put together a team that's capable of taking on the cannon. Let's see. Contour as the main healer. In position 2. Roz is receiving disease treatment. In position 3. Who all to bring? Let's see. Vivial, and then Let's replace Vivial with Hotot so that I have a Crusader in position 2. Put the Vestal in position 4. And Foliot, the Abomination, in position 3. That way he can transform, and while we're at it, let's ditch Zealous Accusation. Hotot doesn't have Holy Lance, and Holland is currently receiving stress treatment. So, let's have Hotot quick learn and upgrade Holy Lance, and then I can sell some trinkets to get, I don't even need to sell trinkets to be able to fund this mission after doing that. So Hotot can be in position 3, and this way, for the boss fight or other tough fights, I can transform and then alternate between Slam and Holy Lance. So, let's do this. This is the last regular boss that isn't either part of the DLC or part of the Darkest Dungeon. Alright, I'm not going for Battle Vestal, so again, I'll go with the Ancestor's Scroll and our one remaining Worry Stone. I'm trying to worry about the loss of these stones. And the Abomination in this team composition is actually, I don't want his, actually, you know, the Osmond Chains could be pretty good. And then combine that with the Lock of Fury, and he actually functions pretty well untransformed. And the Crusader and the Hellion get the same thing they always get, because their Crimson Court trinkets are frankly excellent. Okay, let's provision for this. Plenty of torches. Plenty of food. A little medicinal herbs. Plenty of anti-venom and bandages. That should be enough. A couple of keys. And lots of shovels. Okay, let's go destroy a cannon.
Eager to end the tiresome domestic distraction, I instructed my newly formed militia of hardened bandits, brigands, and killers to go forth and do their work. Compliance and order were restored, and the noisome population of the hamlet was culled to more manageable numbers. The smell of sulfur and gunpowder hangs in the air. The war machine is close.
And yeah, okay, this is actually, I was complaining about them not doing this, and now they did it. So, it's in one of these 3 rooms, but there's no way to tell which one. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a challenge for our final boss run. For our final regular boss run.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Of course, scouting could render that whole issue meaningless.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Okay, never mind. Our light level is decreasing by more than 1 per tile. But it was decreasing by 1 per tile before. That's confusing. I'm really getting a calm before the storm vibe from this entire situation. We haven't had a single fight of any kind yet, and
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
we haven't had a single fight of any kind yet, and the scouting suggests that we won't for a decent while yet. And we have even more scouting. And we know where the boss is. And it's entirely possible for us to reach the boss without encountering a single regular enemy. However, even with 80% trap disarm
Watch
chance,
your
you still
step.
fail. However, I'm gonna go for the secret room first. Which means dealing with one hallway battle, which admittedly could potentially be the Collector, and then dealing with a little bit of backtracking. Okay, we have 2 shovels. I need to save one of them for getting to the boss room.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
And Lovely. We have... Oh, that was just blight, not an actual disease, and he resisted the blight, so it actually did nothing. Okay, we surprised the enemy. Alright, start by manacling the ghoul. Alright, if it bleeds on the witch, because we need her to die quickly. Dazzling light on the ghoul. Yeah, 3/4 of this team has a stun ability equipped. And I'm actually just going to go for Inspiring Cry on the Hellion to try to reduce her stress level a little bit. Okay, one more hit from the Hellion, and the... Never mind, the witch is basically just taking care of herself. 140% stun resistance. I may as well still use Manacle because it's my best way of damaging the ghoul. The witch will die on her own. So now I just need to...
fear consumes the mind.
Now I just need to get rid of the ghoul. And Judgment, we got big Judgment. We got double critical Judgment. And Judgment doesn't even do extra damage to Unholy like Smite does. And it's decided it can't really do meaningful damage, so it's just going all in on horror. It's just going to focus on inflicting as much stress as possible to screw us over for the next fight. Because that's all it could possibly accomplish. Alright, another Judgment. We saw one end of the bell curve, now we see the other end of the bell curve.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
And Smite. I banish thee.
This expedition at least promises success.
Okay. One more tile. Light another torch. Use a key. Max out the torch level. Drop the one extra torch.
Purchase, spirits are lifted.
Okay. And a new hallway battle spawns in behind. Well, I guess they assumed we'd be weakened from the ghoul and decided to take us out, but they're not going to be a meaningful threat. Alright.
Impressive.
Alright, Judgment to get rid of the bone militia.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Smite to get rid of the other bone militia.
Obliterated. And
that leaves just the harrying Gnasher, who is taking 5 damage per turn from Blight. So even if we can't hit it at all, I mean, its dodge is 36, so hitting it may be a bit of a challenge, but even if we don't hit it at all, it will blight to death before long
as the
anyway.
fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
And there's really nothing else to loot around here anyway, so there's no reason to continue in this mission after the boss fight's over. So, make camp, feast.
Gathered close in tenuous firelight, an uneasy
So Zealous Vigil reduces his own stress, whereas Sanctuary only has useful secondary effects if you have mortality debuffs, which we don't. So Zealous Vigil is better. I'm also going to add Sharpened Spear. And I'm gonna go with Battle Trance also. Just go for maxing out damage, and I still have enough time to use Encourage. Perfect. Okay, this is the best chance of success we're ever going to have. Let's see if we win. Go ahead and loot the torch. Go ahead and light the torch, so we go in with 100% torch level, 94% torch level.
Born.
Okay.
A marvel.
Bring in Pyro.
An engine of destruction.
Right. And I may not even need to transform. We've gotten rid of the matchman for this mission.
In a single strike.
So over this turn, so now we just damage the cannon. Vestal's whole job is just to keep healing everyone.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
That calls for reinforcements. And that places the Pyro in position 4. where I can't reach him with manacles. So we're going for transport. And now we're going for slam. We're just going to have to rely on the Hellion to continuously kill the Pyro, which she is eminently qualified to do. Judgment.
A powerful blow.
I forgot to equip Holy Lance, didn't I? I guess I'm about to find out. I did forget to equip Holy Lance. Which means I can't actually use the Abomination the way I've been using it. I'm just gonna have to rely on, I'm just gonna have to revert and just use, Manacles. Manacles still does acceptable damage. And another Iron Swan.
Eradicated.
Another Dead Pyro. Another Judgment of the cannon itself. And we are gradually wearing it down, but that thing is durable as fuck. You know, I really wish the Pyro didn't spawn in position 4, but then again, this is Darkest Dungeon where wishes, much like hopes and dreams, go to die. Alright, another Iron Swan, another Dead Pyro. You know, she has inflicted very little damage to the boss, but I still have to give Touché credit. She really is the, whoa. She really is the star of this mission. She just keeps the cannon pinned down so that it can't do anything while the rest of the team destroys it. I am going to need to start actually healing my heroes at some point. Calling for more reinforcements. I mean, at some point, it's inevitable. Iron Swan will actually fail to kill the Pyro one way or another. It'll either miss or get a low damage roll. It's bound to happen sooner or later, especially since there are ranges within its damage roll where it won't kill the Pyro.
A devastating
But
blow.
frankly, with as durable as this team is, and that was one of the considerations I had when deciding which heroes to bring, this is a fairly tanky team composition. So we can survive being hit by the cannon once. And that's of course assuming it doesn't misfire, which does happen occasionally. The only issue is if it manages to hit us multiple times. Okay, and we've had our first failure to kill the Pyro, and since no one else can reach him with anything except Judgment. Okay, Judgment has a 16% chance to kill the Pyro. It's worth trying.
Soothed. Sedated.
In the meantime, let's just continue wearing the cannon down. Okay, fire in the hole. What do we get? Ooh! Whoa. Well, only one person is on death's door. That's the good news. Alright. All you can do is manacle.
A singular strike.
Okay, Divine Comfort. Get the Hellion off of death's door and get everyone a bit of healing.
Fevered pitch of battle.
Okay. Move the Pyro. Thank you. And Blanket Fire missed everyone, and it's not even my birthday. Haha! And so did Shank. You know what? However this fight ends, I just have to say, you guys have been amazing. Continue manacling the, Brigand 16 rounder. Oh,
A dizzying blow.
that ain't
body
good.
and
Okay,
brain.
that could turn the entire fight around depending on what happens in the next few rounds. Okay, not a death blow yet, but now 2 people are at death's door.
The end approaches.
This could turn the tide of the entire battle. Okay, she survived the unavoidable death blow check from the bleeding damage. Since no one is afflicted, nobody's going to refuse healing. Unfortunately, there's going to be another fire in the hole. And I can't count on a misfire. But I got a misfire! You know, there are times when I feel like the game is going easy on me, and this entire mission has been one of those times. Okay, wicked hack, could kill. And there it goes! And Touche gets to do the honors and finish off the cannon.
Again, a symbol of strength.
We got it! We got incredibly lucky, but we won.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
Okay, let's get out of here. And we have the Fuseman's matchstick, which I actually am probably going to have some significant use for that later. That and Wolf's tassel. For some reason, I misremembered what the matchstick did. I wasn't expecting to get much use out of the matchstick because I thought the matchstick only gave you an advantage if you were in position 4. But no, it just boosts the power of all ranged skills. That's actually quite helpful. And yeah, nobody leveled up. And we have yet another disease, spasm of the entrails.
A finely crafted instrument of butchery and bloodshed. Yours for the taking.
Okay. Let's get some disease treatment going. Actually, let's treat. Where's Roz? Oh, Roz is being treated, which means she no longer has a disease. Let's treat Hot Hot. Get rid of the hemophilia. And let's get rid of the occultist's creeping cough. Okay, and Touche, her stress level is high enough. Oh, let me see something. Okay, so the Puppet Theater would require 200 crests, which I don't have enough crests for that yet, so I will give Touche some normal stress treatment. And everybody else's stress level is probably low enough that they can afford to just wait, since idle heroes' stress levels go down. And I got rid of Grulart's Restless quirk that prevents his from going down. But that is going to be the end for this part. I've finally beaten the cannon, the final form of the cannon, and I've defeated the last normal boss. So this whole playthrough is wrapping up. All that's left is the last 2 runs into the Darkest Dungeon. And also, honestly, I want to actually defeat the Miller before I declare this playthrough finished. So that's probably what I'm going to be focusing on next week, is the Miller and or the 3rd Darkest Dungeon run. But thank you all for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time.